Hi, Shell.
And hello to all you other wonderful weirdos watching.
Welcome to the first installment of Short Story Sunday. And hopefully the only installment of Short Story Sunday. I think you can guess as to why, but this is also the worst time to be filming. But it's the only time because I still have to get back to everything. The explanation video, there is a video. I swear there is going to be a video. I think it's in 2 parts, just because of how long it's taking. Don't mind my neighbour, he's just woke up. So my part 1 will be my Monday video, and that'll be coming out Tuesday. Again, the explanations will be in that video. Yeah. So anyways, this week's short story was In the Hills, the Cities, which is the very last book in volume 1 of Clive Barker's Books of Blood. So this is the omnibus of 1 of 3 volumes. So I finished a volume now. I have officially done volume 1. So already opening the story, I was gonna hate it because, oh my god, I just don't like bickering couples. We have Mick and we have Judd, and they are on this European little excursion, and oh my god, they are bickering and they are bickering. Oh my god, I hate it. And what's worse is it's their honeymoon. These guys, oh my god, I don't understand. It wasn't until the first week of the Yugoslavian trip that Mick discovered what a political bigot he'd chosen as a lover. What's worse is that we don't get to hear Judd talk politics. It's just Mick's commentary on, oh god, I just want to go to this church. But it also doesn't explain Judd's bigotry at all. It's just, okay, just take my word for it. Oh man. So we have Mick and Judd riding around Yugoslavia. And oh my god, they're bickering. Their bickering is annoying. And the tension is finally eased when they stop in the middle of nowhere and Mick just takes his shirt off, and basically they just have sex in the middle of a field. And thankfully Clive Barker's euphemisms eased up. That was actually readable. I was really struggling in the last story with the euphemisms. Oh my god. Oh boy, I guess I just don't like sex euphemisms. I guess it's just finally it's eased up to a point where I can read it and it's fine. But I still ended up laughing at the one euphemism that was dropped. I'm just like, oh my god, am I just that immature? Maybe, I don't know. But one thing is for sure, that is not the only thing that's going on in this book. They're not just having a squabble. They're just there to witness something else that's happening, and that is 2 cities in the hills battle. But they don't just battle. There is some kind of metaphor at work here about the beating heart of a city and how every city can function with its citizens, or its citizens run the city, and how they work together to function in this way. Basically, they all strap themselves together and become a giant. And the 2 cities do this separately. My one frustration is that I was left wanting a description, and it didn't happen until like later on, back at the very end, where Judd and Mick are just looking up at the last one and just like, so they've engineered it to be functioning with people, because there's this giant person constructed by people, lots and lots of people strapped together, men, women, and children. Why did they involve the children in this? My goodness. But they've basically got rid of the neck part, so it's like they don't have to like struggle with a weak neck. They've got the shape of it a bit more structurally sound to, function as a lot of people strapped together, making a form of a person, as best as they could. And they've apparently been doing this for centuries, coming together every 10 years to battle it out with the other neighbouring city. They both begin with P, and my brain cannot put 1 second. So Podujevo. I don't know if I'm doing that right. Where's the other city? Popolac. So my brain can't distinguish between the two because my dyslexia is just like, they're both beginning with P. Fun. Annoying. But yeah, they battle it out in the form of giants, which is quite weird, but somehow they make it work. They have been training for this for a long time. They mastered the art form, and nobody's the wiser. The only thing is, Mick and Judd kind of drive up to where, because they get lost. They get lost and they have to turn off, and they're trying to get to a certain place, maybe one of these cities. And yeah, there's there is a moment where they are bickering, and then the floor just quakes, and they have to stop in their track, and they just kind of shock and horror at the blood that's on the way to them. The blood of one of the cities when something went wrong. When Judd and Mick reach them, there is a field of bodies that apparently fell out of nowhere because they don't know what's going on. They're just horrified, and there's this one person going around with a gun shooting everybody that is still alive as an act of mercy, because we get this horrific description of something went wrong, and it's a cascade effect. They just collapse in a heap. Tens, thousands of people just in one heap fall, and there's a wave of the blood that reaches the car, and they drive forward. My battery died. Oh dear. Anyways, where was I? I think I was at when Mick and Judd reached the field full of bodies, the city of, I think it's Pud. I can't remember. Yeah, they reach the field of bodies, and it's been hours and now you're making noise again. I don't understand it. Anyways, so yeah, they start losing it. There's even like a sentence before they even get there, is that they leave sanity behind just by the decision to move forward to the field. And yeah, I'm surprised they haven't lost every ounce of sanity just at the field, because there's this man in a grey coat shooting people, putting them out of their misery, because there's some survivors. But he saves the last bullet for himself, because the tradition was part of their life, and it went horribly wrong. And now an entire city is dead. And Mick is losing his mind because one of the survivors is trying to grab at his foot. When they do try to leave, they turn around to their car, and one of the civilians that we do get named here, Vaslav Jelovsek. I probably butchering that. Yeah, he actually, we do get a scene before the cities go out of him drinking coffee and acknowledging somebody else, but they can't look at each other like the knowing friends that they are. They've got a, yeah. So I think there's like hinted at a deeper friendship there. Oh, a deeper type of relationship. These two guys in the city drinking coffee, waiting to start the event, start the battle, and yeah, that guy is now stealing their car and driving after the other city, because the other city took one look at what happened to its rival and lost it and ran away. And so the man is now stealing a car to drive after the city, and the giant that is the city, and hoping to catch up with it and help in some way. I don't know what he's actually expecting to do, because when Mick and Judd decide to like walk after the tire tracks and try and just walk, because that they have no way of knowing where they are, because the map's in the car, their stuff is in the car. Yikes. They find the car overturned in a ditch, and they pull the car thief out, and then get the rundown of what is happening. And oh my god, there was this amazing bit to this. Vaslav, eager to be finished, they were good at the game of giants. It took many centuries of practice, every 10 years, making the figure larger and larger, one always more ambitious to be larger than the other. Ropes to tie them all together flawlessly, sinews, ligaments. There was food in its belly. There were pipes from the loins to take away the waste. That's how intricate they are. That's how committed to the detail they are. But the best sighted sat in the eye sockets, the best voice in the mouth and throat. You wouldn't believe the engineering of it. I don't, said Judd and stood up. I freaking yeah, I love Judd in that moment. That was hilarious. This man is literally dying on the road and is explaining the entire culture of the competition of the giants, and Judd is like, no. After everything, at this point, I'm totally understand. Oh, Judd, amazing. Don't change, Judd. Anywho. So they continue walking into the hills because there's nothing else to do. And eventually they come across a cottage, and despite not knowing how to communicate, because the couple in the cottage don't understand English, they just mime that they're hungry, eat their stew, eat some stew and bread, and fall asleep at the table, because they're exhausted after one hell of a day. Because they've been walking for so long that eventually this is just like, yeah, that they need to sit down. That is until the boom, 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 footsteps. This is actually a really good tense moment of the footsteps just getting closer and closer, and the couple are like frantically wondering what is going on. And the woman, when she sees a silhouette in the sky, runs for the tree line. The man, he collapses to his knees, full of arthritis, and by the time Mick and Judd wake up to the rumblings of the house and the smashings, they meet the man at the door, and the man is actually on the floor kissing the ground. And that's when they get the full glimpse of the giant and lose their last bits of sanity. They stop caring about running for cover. They just decide it's worth dying for, that they've just seen a miracle. Right. Okay. So yeah, the giant steps its foot into the cottage, and Judd dies with a boulder to his face, and Mick doesn't see nor hear his newlywed's fate. I don't know if you heard the woo there, but that was ill-timed. Insensitive. Anywho, that Mick just loses it and screams, whoops, and runs to grab the foot before it lifts and wants to be taken with the giant. Don't know why, but apparently he just wants to be with the giant now. So yeah, eventually he does look back and see Judd's corpse lying there, and because it's just like, as he's being lifted away and he stops caring about anything, nothing matters, he's with this giant clinging to its foot. Yeah. And there was like this last little paragraph of Judd moving because of the decaying nature of maggots and foxes coming to get its body. Yeah. Gross. But yeah, all in all, it was kind of very well thought out, considering its absurdity in nature. Because even people were dying in the giant as it was moving, and the giant itself has lost all sense of individual nature within each of the person, and they are now collectively one. They are wanting to lie down and die in a valley somewhere. They just need to get there. And when the individual people die, like cells, the body, they just get unstrapped and they drop, but the people that die inside are kind of left because there's nothing they can do. Yikes. So eventually, I'm imagining there's like a trail of bodies every now and again, just because of the scale of it. Yeah, it's quite a horrific story, very imaginative, I will say that. I wouldn't, again, there was that one line that was questionable, like, so yeah, that was this week's short story. It wasn't that a lot of people died pretending to be a giant, what, because they strapped themselves together. But the conversation to had that a city is its people could be had. But, it's a bit gory when one city falls, yes, and then another city loses its mind because of the other cities falling. Yeah, that's a it's deep, it's dark, it's maddening, and yeah, I kind of don't expect any less from Barker at this point. But yeah, that was this week's short story. I will be taking a break from Clive Barker just because of how intense these stories have been. I kind of feel like I needed a bit of better pacing on this. Maybe it's going to be every once in a while I'll drop something from volume 2 because I don't see how else I'm going to get through this. But for now, I'll have a break. Extended break. That was volume 1 of Books of Blood. Not entirely sure where to go from there, but yeah. Bye, Shell.
Bye to all you other wonderful weirdos watching.